terms of the Jonas CSI adoption of automating your payments, can you describe, and Michael, come to you in a little bit here, but John first, can you describe the initial onboarding and how that was? I know we touched base a little bit on it, but can you give an overview as far as how really from a time frame perspective, how long that was to get going?
It wasn't a very long process at all. Like I said, I started out by printing out a report of my vendors, sent it over to CSI, and they went through that report. Like I said earlier, they went through and said, okay, we've already got these X amount of vendors that are already included. We could start them tomorrow, and we'll start the process of calling other vendors to see if they're interested, but at a minimum, we could start there. The time that I started doing business with CSI, they still did not have the interface with Jonas set up. So we actually had to come up with a process. That was the only time-consuming thing, because it was kind of like a trial and error. Well, we think we could use this module to do that, and let's try this for a while and see if it works, or so on and so forth. But like that was the biggest glitch. But like I said, now that with the interface, it's all set up and ready to go. Thanks to me, partially, because I think I helped out with that process. I was like a little guinea pig. But yeah, like I said, that was the the biggest hurdle, and now that's gone. So like I said, it's pretty quick and easy. It's pretty much going through your vendor list and going into the Jonas vendor setup and ticking off that box. And that's another thing that CSI does with the ones that they already know are set up. They'll go and tick that box for you. So it's pretty simple.
Well, look, I've got really one last question for all three of you here. So Trevor, I'll start with you. If you were to give a quick elevator pitch of how Jonas, CSI, and all the clubs in the US today, how payment automation can help the industry revolutionize their AP departments, and why they should begin soon, tomorrow, today, yesterday, what would you say?
Yeah, I think that to kind of circle back around to what we talked about at first, right? The pandemic. One of the things that the pandemic showed a lot of us was the need for clubs to adopt more modern technologies and practices. There's a lot of technology that's out there today that clubs have not yet been ready to embrace. I mentioned online ordering was one, right? It was not a huge seller before the pandemic, and immediately the need was there, and now the need for that type of technology has remained. I think that, as we come out of this, what has actually happened in the course of the last year or so is that we've seen the needle move on technology adoption at a more aggressive pace than we really ever have before. What would have taken 3 to 5 years of kind of technology adoption in the club industry happened over the course of 12 months. So this is just another avenue that clubs can look to build automation, streamline their processes, add revenue, and do it in a very, very simple way. It ticks a lot of boxes that clubs are out there actively looking for, and it can be a big benefit. I think that if I would give one piece of advice to any club out there considering it, it's to get that vendor analysis done by CSI, because at least then you can have an accurate look and say, okay, as of today, I can start generating X revenue with an automated payables process compared to where I stand today. And I think that alone is really eye-opening for a lot of clubs. If they get to that point, they really start to see the value behind it.
Definitely. Mike Braun?
Yeah, so even from the early stages, and I'm going to circle back to the vendor acceptance and the supplier reach out. So when we do look at these vendors, we have a very deep, rich database. We work with over 900,000 suppliers. We service close to almost 300 clubs in the US. And when we're reaching out, we're simply acknowledging the fact that we're moving toward the club, we're calling on their behalf, is moving to a preferred payment method, a virtual card. We're not selling them on a credit card payment solution. MasterCard and Visa is doing that. They're reaching out to the suppliers, working on a merchant inquiry with pricing and fees associated with it. But most of these large national suppliers to the small mom and pop, suppliers, they essentially had that in the cost of doing business. So we simply call to gain acceptance and alternatively check and ACH if they not able to accept payments or the virtual card payments. But in terms of onboarding an automated payment process with Jonas and CSI, within 3 to 4 calls, 30 minutes each, you're up and running payments on your own, doing what you're doing today. And then when we're converting those suppliers over, they're earning a new revenue stream. We keep on bringing up technology. And of course, there's costs associated with technology, whether that's invoicing or procure to pay. Even the Jonas subscription fees. Clubs can take that new revenue stream and put that toward technology to offset those fees, which is great. And they don't have to come up with that overhead upfront. So, it's a no-brainer in my mind. Of course, it's easier said than done. But to improve efficiencies and gain that new revenue, why not?
John, lastly, I mean, both of them pretty much covered the entire belly width as to why, but to your fellow controllers and CFOs at these clubs, why entertain the conversation now?
A process that you're already doing on a daily basis. I mean, payables are not going to go away, but it's taking something that is usually costing you money, just in terms of your time. It's a revenue stream and it's saving you time, so it's a double whammy. You're getting a rebate and also spending less of your time doing your payables, which leaves you other time to do other things. And then another, I'll give you, like, for instance, what we use our rebates for, we throw it back into our employee relations. I just bought 50 tickets to a baseball game with our rebate money. We throw it into a pot, and that's what we use to do our employee, thanks for a job well done pool. We do, our little baseball outing. We do our holiday parties. We do a little golf tournament, and all of the refreshments and things like that for that day, comes out of that pot. So, depending on how much business you do, it could be a lot of money. Like I said, with us, we throw it back into our employee relations, and they appreciate that, and keeps everybody happy. And a happy employee is a good employee. And this is the hospitality business, so we want a bunch of happy employees around. Otherwise, they're not going to be very hospitable to our members.
Love that. I got to be honest with you. Majority of the clubs, they put that money towards that Christmas party at the end of the year, from what I hear all the time. So I know the employees love that too. That's great to hear. Look, gentlemen, John, Trevor, Mike, I hope you guys enjoyed being on here today, and I hope that obviously we can get more clubs utilizing and taking advantage of, again, what the 21st century is giving us, these technological capabilities and what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So if you'd like more information on CSI, please visit our website at corporatespending.com, or of course, get in touch with anyone on Jonas who you're using today. So John, Trevor, Mike, thank you guys so much. And we'll look forward to chatting with you all again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.